Justice League is a 2017 superhero movie. It's about a group of heroes, Batman, Wonder Woman, Aquaman, The Flash, Cyborg, and Superman, who unite together to face off against an intergalactic invasion orchestrated by Steppenwolf and save humanity. It's a visually stunning, science fiction epic inspired by Akira Kurosawa's Seven Samurai, with three-dimensional characters who grow and develop over the course of the film, directed by Zack Snyder. Except it isn't. The movie we got in 2017 was a 2-hour mess with rapidly changing tone, inconsistent characters, and plot holes out of the wazoo, with only an estimated 30 minutes of the movie I just described, the other 90 minutes being reshot in post-production. This was the movie we were initially promised. This is the movie we got.
Yeah. Oh, something is definitely bleeding.
This is the story of the film we never got to see. Until now. Hi, I'm Nick, and here's the history of the Snyder Cut and why it's important.
In 2016, Zack Snyder shot the original movie that he planned. He had picture lock of his film as early as February 2017, having completed his 3.5-hour edit of the film. Rumours around that time stated a theatrical runtime of around 2 hours 50 minutes, which is a little bit longer than Batman v Superman. It's likely there would have been another similar situation to Batman v Superman where the theatrical cut is shorter than the director's cut released later on. Speaking of which, Warner Bros. Wasn't super happy with the direction the film was going, and facing backlash from critics about the dark tone of Batman vs Superman, felt pressured to make the film more lighthearted. Now, Batman v Superman was always intended to be the darkest chapter of the story Snyder and Goyer had planned, but that didn't stop Warner Bros. From making rash decisions such as telling Snyder to cut his movie down to 2 hours, which he thought was a joke. Unfortunately, the worst was yet to come. On the 12th of March 2017, Zack Snyder's daughter Autumn unfortunately committed suicide, causing him to leave the film during post-production. Warner Bros. Saw this as an opportunity to change the direction of the film and hired Joss Whedon, director of Avengers and Avengers Age of Ultron, to take over post-production and do extensive reshoots to create a much more optimistic and Marvel-like film. Instead, Whedon made a Frankenstein's monster of an abomination of a film, wildly switching between footage shot by him and footage shot by Snyder, visual effects ranging from good to god-awful, characters switching from serious to goofy, entire characters being cut out of the film and character arcs being changed to become more lighthearted. Cyborg being reduced from the heart of Snyder's film to the least fleshed out League member, and The Flash being reduced to comic relief. While the movie did get better reviews than Batman vs Superman, helped mainly by the lighter tone and constant Marvel-esque one-liners, both fans and critics had agreed on one thing. This was nothing like Snyder's usual style and was very clearly tonally inconsistent.
Fans of Snyder's previous DC films, such as myself, were obviously outraged by this, and lobbied for almost 3 years to get the real version of the film released, using the hashtag ReleaseTheSnyderCut.
What started as an innocent plea for the real version of the film became a full-on movement. Fans who wanted the Snyder Cut raised a petition almost immediately after the film was released, gathering over 100,000 signatures in less than a week. It was a constantly growing community that created billboards, posters, chartered flights over Warner Bros. Studios, and every dollar raised donated to suicide prevention.
I myself was part of this movement, not only because I'm a fan of Zack Snyder's films, but because suicide prevention is a cause I feel deeply about. The proceeds from buying this shirt went directly to that cause.
The movement even included people involved in the creation of the film, from stunt performers to visual effects artists, to eventually Cyborg's actor Ray Fisher becoming a significant member due to having so much of his footage cut out. Followed by Ray Porter, who was revealed to be playing Darkseid, Aquaman's actor Jason Momoa,
Release the fucking Snyder Cut, baby!
and of course, Zack Snyder himself, who would go on to tease what could have been with his fans on the social media platform Vero by posting stills and behind-the-scenes pictures of scenes that weren't in the theatrical cut, culminating with revealing the Snyder Cut during a Man of Steel watch party and Q&A with Henry Cavill.
See that?
Oh my god.
What is the Snyder Cut? It's not really your ordinary director's cut.
Now, Zack Snyder is no stranger to a director's cut. Many of his films have had them before. Dawn of the Dead, Watchmen has 3 versions, Sucker Punch, and even Batman vs Superman has its Ultimate Edition, which restores plot lines and character motivations to make a much more compelling and coherent 3-hour film. A director's cut is a different edit of the theatrical cut that more closely resembles the director's true intention. Often they're just extended versions. Sometimes there are more big differences, like with Blade Runner, but with a director's cut, the theatrical cut is usually also made by the director, even if certain edits are demanded by the studio. But Zack Snyder's Justice League is no Blade Runner. Their situation more closely resembles the Exorcist prequel, Exorcist the Beginning, and Dominion prequel to The Exorcist, which aren't necessarily director's cuts, since two different directors, Paul Schrader and Rennie Harlin, were brought on to make two different versions of the film. Paul Schrader making Dominion prequel to The Exorcist, and finished his final cut, but producers didn't like it, and hired Rennie Harlin to retool the script and film a new version of it. Both films exist to be watched, but they're not director's cuts of the same film. This is similar to the situation with Zack Snyder's Justice League, where Zack Snyder had finished a film, and Joss Whedon came on to reshoot almost the whole thing. Zack Snyder's Justice League is not simply a longer version of the 2017 film that restores deleted scenes.
Almost the whole damn movie was deleted.
Joss Whedon's film is 2 hours, with only about a quarter of it being footage that Zack Snyder was responsible for. Zack Snyder's Justice League will be 4 hours, so we've only seen about an eighth of Zack Snyder's Justice League. Now, 4 hours is a long time, especially when only about 30 minutes of that is what we've seen before. So this is absolutely not going to be the same movie that was released in 2017. Plot lines were shifted around and cut out or just reshot entirely. The character of Steppenwolf has had a complete redesign with new visual effects that have been completed from scratch based on the original design before Whedon was involved. Cut characters are being added back into the film. You have the obvious Darkseid, Iris West, Ryan Choi, Eleanor Stone, Granny Goodness, Desaad, Martian Manhunter, Volko. Plus, HBO Max gave Zack Snyder an extra $70 million to complete the film. This was mainly used on post-production, to fix up all the unfinished visual effects, clean up all the color grading issues, and for Junkie XL to complete his original score. But Zack Snyder also shot one extra scene, a 5-minute scene taking place in the nightmare world established in Batman v Superman. That's it. He didn't shoot anything more than that. This is where Jared Leto's Joker comes into the film.
Now, after watching all that, I bet you're wondering, that's all well and good, but why is it so important?
It's important for a multitude of reasons. It's important for filmmaking expression and creative freedom in big blockbusters. Many big-budget blockbusters these days feel stale and studio-made, like a conveyor belt of movies. This is a testament to those few big-budget films that keep the director's vision intact, and hopefully the success of the Snyder Cut encourages more director-driven films like it. We're already seeing a rise in director-driven blockbusters recently, with films like Blade Runner 2049, and upcoming films like The Batman, The Suicide Squad, and Dune, and also Marvel's WandaVision. But this need for directors to adhere to the whims of the studio with so many blockbusters is the reason why so often we see filmmakers back away from big studios and moving over to streaming services like HBO Max and Netflix, who actually encourages creative freedom. So many directors have moved over to Netflix because of this. Martin Scorsese, Alfonso Cuarón, Coen brothers, David Fincher, Spike Lee, Noah Baumbach, Charlie Kaufman, Ava DuVernay, Fernando Meirelles, Michael Bay, and even Zack Snyder himself with his upcoming film, Army of the Dead. It's important for standing up to artistic integrity, to which Zack Snyder was awarded for, not backing down from releasing his version of the film, and just keeping the 2017 vision as the one that people associate with the Justice League. DC fans have been wanting a Justice League movie forever, a movie to compete with The Avengers, and the first live-action Justice League film we get is this abomination made by Joss Whedon. Not only is it important for DC fans, but it is important for audiences all over, constantly bemoaning the lack of variety in blockbusters, yet, to be fair, rarely giving the chance to films that try to break the boundaries. Nevertheless, Zack Snyder's Justice League aims to be something different. Regardless of if it's good or bad, it aims to be something different for audiences in the superhero blockbuster genre dominated by Marvel, at least creating variety in the large amount of superhero blockbusters we get these days. It's important to the cast and crew who worked on the original film. Heaps and heaps of work got cut out of the theatrical version of the film, and heaps of people suffered under the direction of Joss Whedon. Ray Fisher's allegations against Joss Whedon opened up an investigation that exposed the abusive work environment created by Whedon. All of this was exposed due to the release of this film. Hopefully this leads to no more of it happening in any Hollywood production.
Thank you very much for watching. This is the first kind of video I've made in this video essay style. I love watching movies and talking about movies, and I don't really get the chance to do that in video form, so I thought I'd do something like this. Let me know if you're interested in more of these, because I'm definitely down to make some more in the future. What do you think about the Snyder Cut? Are you excited for it? Are you not interested in it? Did I maybe help you get more interested in it? Did I just maybe inform you a little bit more of what happened behind the scenes? Hopefully. I'll see you in the next video that I decide to make, whatever it may be. See ya!